Assalamualaikum everyone. Hope you are all doing great. Ashaji, we are going live on our Facebook page of IEEE Young Professionals. And I'm recording the session of Zoom meeting and I will upload it later on our YouTube page. So without further ado, I'm formally starting the session. My name is Mumtaz Hussain and I'm the chair of the IEEE Young Professionals Karachi. And we are pleased to have our guest Hadia Jalil. Everyone knows about her profile. It was uploaded. I am not going to waste your precious time and Hadia's precious time. Over to you, Hadia.
All right. Can you guys hear me clearly?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so let me share my screen. I guess I can't share my screen, Mumtaz.
You are live. We can see you on your screen.
I can't share my screen, I guess.
You have already shared your screen.
Oh, is it sharing? Okay, for me it says that host has disabled. So you guys can see my slides, right? Can you?
No, ma'am. We are seeing you live. We are not. We have no access to your.
Hadia, wait a second. I'm giving you the admin access and you can do whatever you want to do. Stop video and I'm just make host. You are host now. Hadia, you are host now. Your mic is mute. You can unmute, please, your mic and start your session.
All right, sorry. So I am sharing my screen. Is it visible to you guys now?
Yes, it is visible.
All right, perfect. So first of all, thank you everyone for joining. Today I will be talking about the Erasmus Mundus Joint Master's Degree Scholarships. So it's going to be an information session and we'll try to be interactive by making a Q&A session at the end. So if you have any questions, you can ping me at the end and we can catch up to that. I will try to answer as many generic questions as possible during this session. A lot of people ask me certain things which are quite a generic, especially in terms of how to make a good quality application and stuff like that. I will try to answer all of these during this session. So let's get started. Firstly, about me, as many of you guys may know about me, I'm Hadia Jalil. I'm currently working as an iOS developer, software engineer at Amazon Berlin. I studied my master's in advanced system dependability at 3 universities in Europe: University of Lorraine, France, National University of Ireland, Maynooth, and University of St. Andrews, Scotland. I studied this master's under Erasmus Masters Scholarship. I completed this in 2022. Other than that, I'm also a WWDC Apple Scholarship winner back in 2018. I studied my bachelor's in computer science from Comstat University. I also graduated from there in 2018. Okay, so about today's talk. Firstly, I will explain a bit about the Erasmus Mundus Joint Master's Degree Scholarships, what it is, and a little bit about it. Then we'll discuss about the timeline of the scholarships, how it goes, when you should select the program, when you should apply, and stuff like that. Third, then we will talk about the selection of programs. That's a very important step. As you are limited to 3 programs per applicant per year, you should be very cautious about the selection of programs, which programs you are applying to. And then I will talk about the preparation. There's two type of preparation: generic preparation and program specific preparation. So generic preparation is stuff like which you should start preparing even before applying for Erasmus, your profile building and stuff like that. We'll talk about that. And program specific preparation is going to be something which is different for every program you're applying to. So if you're applying to 3 programs, there's going to be different letter of motivation, different recommendation letter and stuff like that. We'll talk about that in this section. And letter of motivation is a really important aspect, as this is the place where you can sell yourself, where you can market yourself. So I have a separate section for that. We'll talk about letter of motivation in detail, how you can make yours stand out, and what are the important components in a letter of motivation. Finally, I will talk about the selection criteria, or the judgment criteria, and how you can make your application a quality application so that it has higher chances of selection as compared to your peers. Finally, I will give you link to some resources, and then we will have our Q&A section. Okay, let's get started. So Erasmus Mundus is an organization which offers a lot of scholarships, and it also gives exchange programs and PhD fellowships, for exchange programs for undergraduate and then PhD fellowships. But this session is especially focused on master's scholarship. And regarding master's scholarship, a lot of misconception people have is regarding Erasmus is that it is a single program. It's not a single program. It's a collection of hundreds of programs, and each program has its own requirements, on eligibility criteria, on deadline, on timeline. So every program is quite unique. Only thing which is common is that they all come under Erasmus Mundus Joint Master's Degree, and their funding and everything is funded by EU. So you get equal amount of scholarship, and they're all joint degrees, which means that they are not from one single university. They are from different universities in different countries. But the structure of the program, the format, the universities, everything is quite autonomous, and every program has its own stuff going on there. Regarding the catalog, Erasmus Mundus has programs in almost all the domains. So here's the link for the catalog, which I'll share in the resources as well. Regarding catalog, there are programs corresponding to each and every domain. You can go and search for it. And there are a lot of programs. So we will talk about the selection of programs in a bit, about how you decide which programs you're going to select for application. As I already mentioned, that we have 3 limit. So yeah, let's talk about the timeline now. So in starting from September, you should at least research about the programs you're going to apply to, and select the top 3 programs. Each program has its own website and resources, so you should go and search about which program you're going to apply to. Then from early November to January, there is going to be the scholarship deadline for different programs. Each program has its own deadline. You need to check carefully for your program in the website and apply accordingly. From March till maximum May, results are announced and offer letters are sent. And finally, from April onwards to June, July, you start to apply for visa and stuff like that, and accept your offer. And finally, mostly in starting from September onwards to October, a lot of universities start their studies. That is the generic guideline or timeline for the Erasmus Masters programs. Okay, so let's talk about the selection of programs. That's the most important step prior to applying in any program. Firstly, first thing first, programs are highly specific. So you won't find something like Masters in Computer Science or Masters in Software Engineering. Rather, they will be something very highly specific or in a specific domain. Like, for example, big data management analysis. I am from computer science background, so my talk will be mostly related to, or my experience will be mostly related to CS. But in other domains as well, they are highly specific. You won't find something like Masters in Psychology. You will rather find something really specific. So being highly specific means that it has its own pros as well. You can go for a program which aligns very well to your goals. So there are 3 things which you should consider before selecting a program. Firstly, that what are your long-term goals, whether you want to stay in industry or you want to go in research. If you are going to research, then it really matters which university you are applying to, because in research universities, research lab and stuff, these things really matter. So when you are searching for a program, search for the universities which are involved in program and the research going on over there, and how that research is related to your research domain. And if you even if you're going to industry, that also plays a role in selection of programs, as some universities also offer like industrial placement. Like in case of my university in Maynooth, University of Ireland, National University of Ireland, Maynooth, they offered an industrial placement in second year. So one reason I chose Ireland as my second year was that I wanted to do an industrial placement instead of research. So yeah, these two things play a very important role. And then other than universities, you also sometimes you also need to define the priority of universities. So sometimes there are multiple universities involved in a program, from 3 to 5. There can be many universities, and each university is different in terms of, some are focused on research, some are focused on industry, and sometimes you have to give a priority of universities. Sometimes you don't get to spend time in all of the universities. You have to give a priority. Like in my program, I had to give a priority of which 2 universities I want to go out of the 3 universities. So deciding that priority is really important as well, because you get to spend time in each university, and they all have their different modules. So one university may be specializing in one thing, and the other one, one might be specializing in some research. So that is also an important point. And thirdly, your profile alignment, what you have currently done and your previous experiences, your previous educational history, and your previous industrial experience, everything, how that aligns with the program you're applying to. If you have experience with artificial intelligence, then I would suggest that you go with a program which is related to AI, as there would be higher chances of getting selected there. Okay, now talking about the preparation. As of generic preparation, this is something which you should start doing way earlier than your application to Erasmus Masters. This involves things which can help you make a good profile, and also it involves getting your documents ready and stuff. Firstly, like IELTS, I guess a lot of programs require it. Some programs don't require it, but I guess a majority of programs require IELTS. So it is very good if you have it already in hand. You can prepare for it well in advance and get your IELTS score ready. Also, profile building. This is really important, as this can make your application stand out amongst your peers. You can participate in hackathons, conferences, workshops, some competitions, anything which is outside of your studies, even some extracurricular activities. In my case, my Apple scholarship was one thing which made my application stand out, as I mentioned it in my letter of motivation as well. So yeah, your profile building is a really important part, which you should do regardless of scholarship, and you should do it even if you are currently in your undergraduate. It's a really good time for you to participate in other stuff and make a good profile. Thirdly, getting your documents ready. This can take a lot of time, so it is better if you get these things done as early as possible. Things like degree attestation from HEC and Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and then FSC and matriculum diploma attestation. These things especially take time, as they involve like a lot of going to and fro. Then you need sometimes to get character certificate from the local police station, and sometimes you also need birth certificate. Just make sure that all of these things you have handy. Proof of residence is a really important thing, because in Erasmus, there are two types of applicants: program country applicants and partner country applicants. So by program country applicants, we mostly they are like European countries. For Pakistan is a partner country, and according to Erasmus. So for partner country applicants, there are more normally more slots. So that's why you need to define like either you are applying as a program country applicant or a partner country applicant. Proof of residence proves that you are living in Pakistan. You can get this from your local municipal, or you can get it from your local consular, but get it ready as soon as possible as well, because you will need it either while applying or after getting selected. Okay, now program specific preparation. The things which I previously told you, they were quite generic. Now regarding this, there are some things which are going to be different for each program you're applying to, like letter of motivation, your CV, and the letters of recommendation. You should have them differently for every program. By differently, I mean that if you're applying for a couple of programs and each of them have a different domain, if your letter of motivation is one generic and you submit all of it to all of them, it won't be a very quality application, as your letter of motivation should relate to the program. So and also your CV. So if you have some experience in a certain domain and some experience in other ones, so I would suggest that you mention the one which is more related to the program in that specific LOM. It's always better to have different letters and even letter of recommendation for different programs. Okay, so as I said, letter of motivation is a really important part, and this is something which you can manage, which you can in which you can express yourself or show your strengths and selling points, and it can contribute a lot to your final application or selection. So just spend a lot of time on letter of motivation and make sure that it shows your story. And in letter of motivation, there is no specific format or one size that fits all. There's nothing like that. You show your journey and you explain your story, but not in a way like you just simply repeat your CV. You shouldn't do that. You should rather focus on your motivational aspects, what motivated you, how your journey is different, or what are the accomplishments or challenges you faced on the way. And obviously, all of this should be relevant to the program you're applying in. Also, you can mention your strengths, your selling points, anything which makes you stand out in this CV, but try to relate it to the program. Regarding letter of motivation, many people ask me for my LOM. So I have no issue with sharing it, because my LOM is quite domain specific. So I can share it with you guys as well. I will share it with Mumtaz, and he can share it in the group. You can take it as a reference, but as I said, that there is no one size that fits all. Just make your own story, but make sure that every paragraph you write aligns to the previous one, and the reader is motivated to read it, and it is something which grasps their attention. And also, one last thing in letter of motivation is that you should also mention your future goals, like how this program will help you accomplish those. We often forget this point, like we talk about our experiences and all that, like we want this scholarship, but how this program is going to help you in future. What are your goals after this? Once you achieve this, once you complete your master's, what are you going to do after that? That is a really important part. At least you can spend one or two paragraphs for that at the end. That will be really helpful. Okay. Regarding selection criteria, so each program has a different selection criteria, as I already mentioned, and selection criteria is mentioned on their website sometimes as well. Like in case of BDMA, they mention it like there is 20% weightage for this, 20% for that, and they have really defined selection criteria. But I guess not every program has that. So I guess what you can do to improve your chances is that focus on this generic stuff, or you can look into the profile of the previous candidates in your specific program. There's a very good group on Facebook, EMA Pakistan, in which the profiles of previous winners of the scholarship are posted. So you can see and compare to yours how you can make your profile as good as them. Just make sure that you don't have to be exactly like you don't have to be a topper to do that. You just have to sell your strong points. Of course, GPA and grades do matter, but it's not the only thing. There are other things which you can highlight, your experience and all that. And also your letters of motivation and reference letters, they also play a great role in that. And one thing which I'm focusing again and again is that if you have anything which any accomplishment, any achievement which you can mention, do mention it. It helps a lot in making a quality and a distinguishable application. Okay, so here are some resources. As I mentioned previously, this is the catalog for the Erasmus Mundus program. And then here is a Facebook page for Erasmus Mundus Students and Alumni Association. You can check it out. They often post events and stuff. And here's the group which I was talking about, EMA Pakistan. You can find a lot of good stuff in its files. Post any query there. There are a lot of alumni there who are always ready to help. Thank you so much for listening. And
Assalamualaikum, Adia. Thank you so much for a very informative, to the point and brief session. We are having a flood of questions here, and you have the ton of the audience, not just from Pakistan, Karachi, but from many other countries, other part of the world. So now bear with me the audience question. I am just reading it out loud, so it can be easy for everyone to just type their question, and I will be here taking your question to our dedicated host, guest. What was the group name? No, it's EMA Pakistan. How many times in 1 year? I guess the Mubashir is asking the question, how many times the registration applications open for the Erasmus? It just open only for once a year. Guys, no worries if you have missed some part. This video has been recorded. It's available on live on our page. Once live video completed, it will be saved there and it will be uploaded on our YouTube page as well. Mahdi Naqvi is thanking you, Hadia. If someone has done a master's program recently, should he still try? Hadia, question to you. Hadia, am I audible? Wait a second. Guys, I'm coming to everyone's question. Just wait. I have seen some people has raised their hand. You just type your question. I will be reaching out one by one. Yeah. Asked to unmute.
okay, sorry, I was not able to unmute myself. So yeah, what was the question?
Okay, let me again repeat the question. Question is from Yamna Masuri. If someone has done a master's program recently, should he still apply?
Yeah, most of the programs don't have this restriction that you can't apply again. Like you can't have a double master's. You can definitely apply.
Okay, thank you. Moving ahead, it's a question from Asha Saqib, and she's asking, do we need acceptance letter from the concerned university professor? I guess we don't.
No, it is not like that. PhD fellowships are like that. You just apply directly to the program. You don't need acceptance letter from any professor in that university. You get directly.
Guys, Erasmus is completely different, because in the program where Hadia won the scholarship, I was on the reserve list. So I also know a limited knowledge about the application, not just about the program, but just about the application, how to apply and how to register. It's people, students, our friends usually have the misconception of our CSC scholarship. CSC scholarship, China has a different set of application style. When it comes to Erasmus, it's not like CSC. You don't need to take university's professor consent. Moving ahead, Uzair is asking for your LOM, Hadia. Can you share it with me?
Okay. Yeah, I will share it with Mumtaz and he will share it.
Okay, thank you. moving ahead, Subhan is thanking you, Adia. With IELTS, how much selection chances are there? Aftab, I can reply to you that without IELTS, there is zero chance. You can't even apply majority of the programs because IELTS is a mandatory requirement. If you give the IELTS, there is a chance. If you don't give the IELTS, there is no chance. Simple and straightforward. Don't trust me, my English is worst, and I even scored 7 in IELTS just with 3 days of preparation. If you watch movies, listen to song, IELTS is not the hardcore English speaking skills test. It's just a test about can you survive in an English speaking country or not. Simple as that. Next question from Dr. Pashod. Does CGP above 3 is a necessary for Erasmus Mundus? I have a CGP of 2.82. Am I eligible for the program? Over to you, Adia.
Yes, you are eligible, but GPA does play an important role in many programs. But I have heard some exceptional cases in which people with even 2.7 GPA got the scholarship. So it is not the only deciding factor. You can definitely apply if you think that you can highlight your profile in other domains.
Okay, thank you. I'm moving ahead, guys. In case this meeting is over, try to join us again on the same link as I'm seeing at. We have 5 minutes. We have 40 more questions. I'm just hoping that they are not the repeated questions. And I won't interrupt you, Adia. Some I can answer myself. How can we get the acceptance letter? Again, this is a repeat of question. There is no need of acceptance letter. You just apply and you will win the scholarship. Next question, the bioinformatics. Thank you for your session. Just wanted to know the specific ECTS requirement conversion to creditors.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so there is a file in that EMA Pakistan group where you can see the total complete reference for ECTS to credit hours. But generally speaking, one year of studies generally in any Pakistani university is equal to 60 ECTS. And most of the programs in Erasmus have this requirement that you must have completed at least 180 ECTS. And if you have completed your bachelor's in Pakistan, most of you don't need to worry about it. It will be automatically like it will be considered like you have completed enough ECTS. But there is a specific guideline in the group. You can see for some programs they do ask you for the conversion, like BDMA. They have an Excel sheet in which they ask you to convert and send to them.
If you can go to the Google and YouTube and search my name, Mumtaz and Sumru, you find my page, my YouTube channel, and there's a BDA program. I have defined its requirement of the conversion of the conversion system, number system of European credit system. So moving ahead, Ejaz has question. Madam, kindly discuss about the motivation letter and how we can start to write. I mean, what we must include first paragraph and second paragraph. Ejaz, to best of my understanding, Adia have described in detail, briefly in detail regarding the motivation letter. You might have missed the session in earlier, or for any interruption, you couldn't heard that part. I will humbly request you to watch our video and you will find it out. How many programs we can apply? Ajmer, we can apply to 3 programs only in one intake. If this is the year 2022 and registrations are open for the year 2023, you can only apply for the 3 programs at max, not more than that. Please don't ask me how they can check. They are European system, they have the system. Murtaza, I've asked a question. I am currently at the 7th semester graduation on July 2023. Am I eligible? Yes, you are eligible. In certain programs you have to apply. They can give you a conditional acceptance letter depending on the successful graduation degree at your hand before the start of the studies. I am not gonna interrupt Hadia for basic questions. I have gone through multiple applications of Erasmus myself. Does GPA above 3 is necessary for the Erasmus Mundus? I have a GPA of 2.51 and eligible for this program. This question have already been answered by Hadia. We are not doing the redundant job available. Okay. Do Erasmus Mundus accept university English language as a medium of instruction? Certificate or IELTS is a mandatory. That depends upon the specific program, Kesa. That depends upon the specific program you're applying. Some programs do accept English certificate from your university, but some don't. You have to specifically read the requirement. What are the chances of social sciences in Erasmus scholarship? Over to you, Hadia. What are the chances of social sciences in a scholarship? Erasmus scholarship.
What do you mean by chances? How many programs there for social sciences? I guess there are many programs for social sciences as well, because there are certain categories in Erasmus programs, and as I shared the catalog, you can see the exact programs, but there are many programs related to social sciences as well.
Okay, guys, we have 2 minutes. I'm just reading the questions. There are many questions. If this meeting disconnects, you kindly join the meeting again, and we'll keep asking Hadia question. And next question is, hi, thank you so much for the information. It's a great. My question is that I am currently working in as a teacher in the school. May I get the proof of residence? Proof of the residence. Acha, ye proof of residence.
Sorry, what was the question? Can you repeat again?
She's sorry, Zubair is asking about the proof of residence. Where I can get the proof of residence and visit the union council?
You can get it from your local municipal or local councillor. He can write a letter for you. In my case, I just got it from a local councillor. He wrote it on a stamp paper, and I submitted that. Like, I know this person, and she's living in this area. You can get it from your local municipal councillor or councillor, whatever.
Even in my case, I got accepted in multiple Erasmus program. I got it certified from the Justice of Peace in the outside the court, city code, and I'm living in Karachi city code and district courts. There are many lawyers available offering the service for registrations and different legal services. So they have the stamp called Justice of Peace. Somewhere I read in the program detail that they accept Justice of Peace as a legal entity. So just get the draft stamped from the Justice of Peace, and that will work fine. Moving ahead, can we proceed this by self or by consultant? You can do it yourself. No need of consultant.
Yeah.
Erasmus is
no need to go after anyone, because the Erasmus program is pretty self-explanatory in all the websites. Don't